Well, great. Well, thank you again for joining us today. Like I said, it's the Greer area, or the Greer Chamber of Commerce, has been doing this program for about 2.5 weeks now. We call it Greer Chamber Live. We're bringing in folks from all over the state and on issues for the upstate, but also issues that impact all of us. And one of the things that probably impacts a lot of us, especially with spring break now not being canceled, but not allowing us to go enjoy the beach this year. One of the things is that hospitality area. So Lenza Jolley, who's the communication manager with the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, is joining us. Thank you so much for coming today. And I'm just going to turn it over to you real quick. Just want to do a quick introduction and then we'll get started.
Okay, I'm Lenza Jolley with the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association. I've been here for about a year as the communications manager. So pretty much anything that you've seen come from the Restaurant and Lodging Association, specifically about the coronavirus pandemic. You've probably seen my name on quite a few of those emails, but I do anything from our graphic design to member communications, updating our website and social media. So a little bit of everything, especially with a smaller staff of 6 here.
Excellent. Well, thank you. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, obviously the hospitality, the restaurant lodging industry has really probably taken a big hit. One of the things that we're looking forward to in Greer, especially in downtown Greer, is the new, they're creating a new hotel. So we know that that impact's going to, you know, at some level, hopefully the hotel will be built, but it's going to be impactful, especially during busy seasons, during busy times. And knowing that spring break's coming up and knowing that the start of the tourist season's coming up, I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about how that's impacting you and the organization.
So right now we have weekly calls with PRTs to talk about how everything is being impacted, specifically in South Carolina. You know, of course, there's been some hotel closures. We've had a significant amount of hospitality employees that have been laid off. We get numbers pretty regularly from the national organizations in addition to PRT, which is Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. So right now, you know, the impact has been pretty detrimental. I think restaurants right now are having to adjust and get into a new normal where they are doing takeout and delivery, and they're trying to market their ways in, or market themselves in new ways to get out in front of their customers, whether it's utilizing social media, email marketing, word of mouth, all of that. They're having to adapt to that. With hotels, it's a little bit different with some of the ordinances that are in place. I think right now we've got about 440 hotels that are closed, which is about 1/3 in the state. You know, some areas are impacted more than others, especially, you know, along the coast. Hopefully y'all haven't been too hard hit in the upstate. But I think with spring break and the summer coming up, plans might have to be altered right now, but we see the hospitality industry bouncing back. We're pretty resilient when it comes to that. People love to travel. People love to go out and eat. We actually just launched a campaign in collaboration with Turnoff Newman that's, you know, takeout now, blank later. So it could be takeout now, girls' night later, or date night later, anything like that, trying to get people to think ahead to when the time comes when they can actually go out and do stuff with their boyfriend or their husband or their friends, just in general. So that's what some of the stuff that we're working on. And, you know, we're of course always here to help our members. And, you know, even if you're not a member, definitely reach out to us. We've got a list of resources on our website, scrla.org. It ranges from National Restaurant Association, the American Hotel and Lodging Association, Chamber of Commerce, pretty much any resource that you could possibly want can be found on our website right now, and we're constantly updating those as well.
Excellent. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. And, you know, it's a tough situation, obviously, I know in Greenville County, I don't know much about the Spartanburg area, but I know in Greenville County, the hotels they're normally about that 40-50% occupancy now. And
Right.
someone I was talking to, a gentleman, he said they're right around that 14%, even lower than that. And I'm
Yep.
sure it's impactful. So we're with you. We hope that when it bounces back, it bounces back quickly. And um, do you work with the just hotels, or do you work with like the rentals, like the beach rental companies, that type of thing, or is it solely restaurant, hotel?
We don't do anything with short-term rentals. It's pretty much only the hotels, extended stays, and the restaurants across the state. But we do have a variety of allied members that could be like food suppliers, or they offer payroll assistance or payment systems. Uh,
Excellent. Okay. How many total members do you guys have?
we have about 2,200. That number kind of fluctuates. We've gotten several new members over the past couple months. So we're about 2,200,
Excellent.
and that's all over the state. Um, One thing I did want to mention, we just launched our Hospitality Employee Relief Fund. We received a generous donation from a brewing company out of Atlanta called Scofflaw. They gave us about $25,000 to launch this fund. While the application process for hospitality employees is currently closed, we received about 2,400 applicants in the first 24 hours. We're trying to build that fund back up. So if you know of anybody that would like to make a donation, that information can be found on the scrla.org website.
Excellent. And what are they, so when someone applies for that program, what are they using those funds for? Is it temporary things? Or is it long-term planning?
So right now we're trying to determine what the actual amount will be. We're hoping it'll be around $250, but we're hoping it can be a little bit more just depending on the funding. It could go towards anything like rent payment, a car payment, anything, groceries, anything to basically get you through this hard time. And there's only a couple of requirements. You have to be a South Carolina resident and a hotel or restaurant employee, and we just verify employment with that as well.
Okay, very good. Make sure yep, I'm sorry, I didn't know if I was muted or not. That's great. And so these are programs that you're offering for, are they for members and non-members?
Members and non-members, yes. Yep,
Okay.
it's just a
Are,
simple application process, but we do verify the employment and the residency requirements.
okay, very good. Are there any other online programs that you're doing for members and non-members?
So that's the only one through our organization. However, the American Hotel and Lodging Association has their own grant process, and so does the National Restaurant Association. So the amounts vary. I think the National Restaurant Association's is $500. I'm not sure on the amount for the Hotel and Lodging Association. I know there's one in Charleston. It's a $50 gift card to a grocery store. I know any little bit helps. But as we hear of more resources and grant funding opportunities, we are putting them on our website.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And when you look at the scope of the states around us, North Carolina, Georgia, even as you go north into Virginia, or even in Tennessee, like what are those associations, are they saying about the same thing right now? Everyone's in a pinch, or is South Carolina a little bit different? Are they is there a change as you go north or south?
I think we're all kind of feeling the same impact. You know, other states have different mandates in place. So North Carolina actually shut their state down well before we actually did. Same with Georgia. So it varies from place to place, but a lot of the restaurant associations, well, and lodging associations that we've seen are about on par. You know, just varies as you go more north, with like into New York. You of course see different. It's a little bit different up there, but we're all pretty much experiencing the same thing, trying to adapt to takeout and delivery only. Luckily, our governor curbed the alcohol laws a little bit, so you can actually get, you know, beer and wine with your takeout. You can deliver it, but it's nice to be able to pick up a bottle of wine or you know, some beer to go with your dinner too. So
Yeah, absolutely. And are you hearing from from any of the businesses members that you have, like in terms of like creative ways? Is there anything that stands out? You said, oh, I have to tell this story about X restaurant doing curbside, or
So we actually, last week, this is one thing that we're having to adjust to too, is offering member resources like webinars. One specifically that we did last week was teaching our members how to offer a groceries to go concept. So they have a lot of inventory that they're trying to deplete, you know, with only being able to offer takeout, delivery, and curbside pickup. So one new thing they can offer is, you know, selling beer and wine. They can sell milk, you know, greens, anything like that. It's an extra source of revenue for them. I've seen some of the restaurants doing meal kits, where they put together like a pasta dinner. So it's got, you know, a salad, a bottle of wine, an entree, a dessert, and it could be for, you know, 2 people or 4 people, or, you know, however many people are in your family. I think being able to pick up a protein from your local restaurant, a lot of people don't realize that you can go, that some of the restaurants are offering their cuts of meat, and they will prep them for you. All you have to do is put them on the grill, or however you'd like to actually prepare them. Some people are doing margarita kits. Cantina is one of those. I know y'all have a cantina in the upstate, Cantina 76. You just add tequila. So they've got their pre-mixed margarita, I think the original, for you, and you just add the alcohol and you're good to go. So
that's really great. No, I appreciate you sharing that. I do have a couple questions. I'm reading them right now. Are there online skill trainings available for hospitality workers who are home at this time? Safe serve, or anything else with the best practices for those?
yep, so ServSafe actually is offering
Serve safe, yeah.
free online training courses until April 30th. So I think their food handler course is available, and then 2 other online training courses that deal with COVID-19 and the coronavirus, training employees how to, with best practices. All of that can be found at servsafecertified.com, which actually runs through the SCRLA website. But those are free for anybody that wants to take those right now.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's good.
And
those, I'm sorry.
on top of that too, the National Restaurant Association and the American Hotel and Lodging Association are also offering webinars pretty much on a daily basis, if not twice a day. So we're trying to link all of those on our website as well, but it's trying to keep up with all of them. I would recommend checking out their websites for a full list of those.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And I can, if you don't mind, if you can share those with us after the program, then we will, I'll get them out to everyone in attendance today.
Okay.
No, that's fantastic. And I mean, it sounds like you're doing, it sounds like you're doing an awful lot of good work for, especially during this time. And what are some of the things they're saying at ServSafe for handling food, for like, what are the, are they saying to heat the food up before eating it, wash it down? What are some of those tips that when you go get takeout that you should be practicing?
Yeah, I think across the board, I think this comes from the CDC, it's Ecolab, ServSafe, all of those, definitely washing your hands for the 20 seconds that they've specified. You know, if you're wearing gloves, make sure that you change those out, because if you're using the same pair of gloves over and over again, that kind of defeats the purpose of wearing gloves. You know, if you feel sick, stay home. Like, don't take the chance of going into the restaurant and, you know, contaminating anything. Definitely stay home if you feel sick, or have the symptoms. Any of those, all of that information could be found on servesafe.com.
Thank you. That's great. And another question that just came in is, how can we as a Chamber of Commerce, I guess, how can we as a community support our hospitality, especially those businesses that are temporarily closed? Is there anything that, you know, whether they're on a furlough or they're in the waiting mode, is there something, is there a fund available? Is there something out there that we can direct people to?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier the Hospitality Employee Relief Fund that we've started through the Restaurant and Lodging Association. Definitely support your local restaurants, whether you're grabbing takeout or delivery. Utilize them as a one-stop shop. Get your groceries there. You know, there's many ways that you can support. I know some restaurants are offering free meals, or gift cards to employees that may not have a job right now, or maybe furloughed. I think there's a variety of different ways that you can support. It's just whatever you feel most comfortable with.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. I am going to, if you're interested in asking a question, just unmute yourself on the side, or on the bottom left-hand side, and feel free to ask a question, and I'll just pay attention. If not, I'll wait. Or if you want to write another one. That was the last question I had.
Okay.
See any, but with that, you know, if there are follow-up questions coming up, I'll definitely reach back out to you. But is there anything that I left out, or is there anything you'd like to add to the program today?
We're definitely here to support everybody in the hotel and restaurant community. You know, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to myself or any of my other colleagues. We do have a membership director in the upstate that's dedicated to Spartanburg and Greenville. I can send her your contact information as well. But we're here for you guys. We're constantly updating our website and our social media, trying to help you guys out as much as possible. So definitely a resource if you need us.
Okay, and on your website, if we're navigating, looks like there was a question that popped up. Oh, it was just the name of your website. I see you answered that. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's pretty, I'm on it right now. It looks like it's pretty easy to navigate through, and we appreciate all that you're doing. It's obviously, tourism is a big part of everyone's lives, but especially the state economy. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Okay, thank you.